Hello, everyone. We were dealing with dragon butts last time, so let's continue to deal with dragon butts. Pretty sure I missed something. I have to go back to get it on the run. The run away from Thomas. Let me see here. Should be under keys. Yeah, I definitely missed it. The real Lost Bastille starts here, I guess. Run! That wasn't nice, Dragon Butt. Why can't I lock on? Let me see how... It's not bad. Alright. Thomas. Hey Toby, how's it going? Sorry, I started a little late. My dog was like, I want to go outside right now. Isn't that right, Loki? He's like laying down right in front of me, staring. You think you're a Doberman, huh? He's the furthest thing from a Doberman. Wait. Why did you invade so far? Wow, he is like... He's using primal pyromancy. He's really rather smart, actually. Kudos to whoever wrote his AI. There's power within. Wow, he is like... none of my crap. Hey, Del. How's it going? He's got basically a version of Chaos Bed Vestiges, and there's the warmth. I gotta take control of the warmth spot. Whoa, hold on. Give me more. I just broke my freaking rapier. Yeah, I'm dead. Yeah, I just don't do enough damage. Because he has high resistance to magic. Him being able to pop that second warmth really sucked. Now I have to go repair the rapier. How much do I owe this guy? 11.97. Yeah, through my durability. Plus, I'm only running +6 because I have no idea where the chunks are. Oh wait, she's got chunks. Finally. Must be because I had the King's Ring. I need to buy a bunch of chunks. Oh, right. Yeah. Souls. This should make a lot of things a lot easier now that I have chunks. Hey, Kill Illuminati, what's going on? Just buying out chunks. Pretty good. Had an attempt at Jester Thomas, the real boss of the area. Actually, I need to go to the top of the area for a thing. You know, I don't know what they drop because I usually kind of just run right by them. Oh, some landmarking, because I don't think I did it last time. Because I was trying to get things done. You can see another bonfire from here. Really nice level design, actually, here. Where you can basically, if you look really closely, you can see where all the other bonfires pretty much are. And if you look really closely, you can see the bottom bonfire where the dragon butts are. This one is for the optional boss area, which should be in there. This is Tower of Prayer. Yeah. There's a bunch of other bonfires that are essentially hidden. Behind some illusory walls and some locked walls and stuff like that. I'm just glad that the Tower Knight fellow in the optional boss fight doesn't have a scraping spear, because the Demon Souls version of that fight, the big hefty guy who would be in Havel's armor, but Havel's wasn't a thing in Demon Souls, it was Tower Knight. He had a scraping spear. The scraping spear basically meant that if he hit you, he did durability damage as well, and it would break your stuff really quickly. In Demon Souls, it was basically a troll weapon. Really? How rude. Unsporting. Yeah, so like, if you let the Havels guy hit you a couple of times in that encounter in Demon Souls, you like just break all of your stuff, including your armor. It's super annoying. Basically, whoever came up with the scraping spear in Demon Souls is a bad, bad man. By the way, if you are in Europe, apparently Demon Souls is on sale for like £2.99. So if you are in Europe, bye! £2.99 is not bad. It is not on sale in America. I guess because Atlas doesn't want to put it on sale. It's under Bandai Namco in pounds. The guy who told me in pounds. So it's like $5 American. Run! So we got that key pretty late down. Whoa! I forgot all about her. Still really want her armor. Bonfire Ascetics. Dried roots. More of those. More of those. Welcome back, Toby. Lightning Clutch Ring, which is maybe the first time we've seen the Clutch Rings this playthrough. I know they came up with, let's talk lore in regards to Londor, so let's take a look. Because they actually predate Londor. Ring depicting a hand grasping a stone. Increases lightning attack but reduces physical defense. The origin of this ring is unknown, but its design suggests one of the darker deities. Effective use of this ring requires skill on the part of its wearer. Now, it is a raven, like holding on to the gem. So This will be one of the only times I willfully do this. It might be Velka. It could be Kaitha, but Kaitha doesn't have the same bird thing. Velka confirmed. It's true though. Yeah, like I don't know of any other deity that really uses the whole bird thing other than Velka. Yeah, Velka's everything though. Up here is the Flynn's Ring. And that's a Sanctum Shield. Did I miss Flynn's Ring? Is it up here somewhere? Oh, it's around here somewhere. You can see the first bonfire right over there. Forget what happens if I light these things up. You know, you might be right. I thought it was up here, like... Or it could be past the bugs. I skipped the bugs. Why must it always be bugs? Yeah, the funny thing about that is the Corvians in the Painted World were actually human once. Miyazaki talks about it in the design works of Dark Souls 1. He also calls them his favorite enemy. Side note, don't be Miyazaki's favorite enemy, otherwise you'll have what happened to you in Dark Souls 3. So he says that their devotion to Velka was so much. Forlorn, really? I just embered. Come on, Forlorn. Seriously, worst timing imaginable. Anyway, so he says that their devotion to Velka was so great that they basically turned into Corvians. Yeah, that's the Forlorn coming in when they're not really expected and or wanted. Whatever. So, like, yeah, as an aside, don't be Miyazaki's favorite enemy, otherwise he will destroy you in the end. But, yeah. Nope, don't want to go that way. We're still up here because we didn't pick up the dragon square thing that lifts the last bridge, so I have to backtrack and do that. It's not... Not that way. damn it. Yeah, I'm dead. This is a terrible bonfire. Let's go back to Dragonbutt bonfire. See if that's any easier. What do I think of the moon in Souls? I think in Souls they take a lot of inspiration of the moon from, say, the Tarot, Major Arcana. Hey, I needed that. So like the moon, it's primal, it's illusory, it causes people to like go a little nuts maybe. I'm just gonna keep running because it won't initiate Jester until I actually see him. So I'm just gonna keep going. Oh, come on, Jester. I didn't see you. Fair and square. Jester Thomas has the same spell you get from the Demon Prince Soul. It's DS3ified, but it's the same thing. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Get out of here. And I'll take your warmth too, asshole. That's a difficult question to answer. Because yes and no. Yes, because the Holy Moonlight Greatsword is a FromSoft trope. It is a thing FromSoft likes using all the time. The original graphic engine that they used for not Demon Souls, Kingsfield is called the Holy Moonlight Greatsword thing. It is like literally called the Moonlight Greatsword. Actually, you can get that graphic engine right now, and there's a lot of fan games that get made for Kingsfield because there hasn't been a new Kingsfield in like 10 years. So people will take the original graphic engine and they'll make some fan games from it. And in memorial of that, the Moonlight Greatsword has been in pretty much every game FromSoft has ever made. If not every game. In some way, shape, or form. Like, Moonlight Greatsword in Armored Core is a big laser. I don't know what it is in Echo Knight. But it is basically in every game they've ever made. Yeah, and the Moonlight Greatsword in Dark Souls 3, the spell, that uses the animation mesh for Kingsfield 2. That is directly a Kingsfield 2 Moonlight Greatsword. And I think it itself is one big self-reference, because FromSoft really likes doing self-references like that. Even the item description is a little cheeky. It's like, this is from a memory from before, and it's like, yeah, Kingsfield came before Dark Souls. We know FromSoft. So yeah, it's pretty meta, actually. That item description is fairly meta, and I'm not sure if they strictly mean it lore-wise, but it's pretty meta. Hey, Emeriz666, thanks for the follow, and welcome. So we picked up a couple of things. Crushed Eye Orb is the Eye of a Traitor. This is to pick up, what's her face, but we already patches her very early. This is the Sanctum Shield. A shield, which is what we picked up a little earlier. A shield with a curious design, one of the treasures of the Sunken King. A mixture of mystical tree branch and sacred chime iron allows this shield to serve as a catalyst for miracles and sorceries. Most of the miracles and sorceries created in the Sanctum City were lost, but the quality of their armor and shield suggests highly advanced craftsmanship. I think there's some finagling going on with Gwyndolyn's, like, DMB. Because Darkmoon Blade is purple, well, indigo. And it is the same indigo as Greatsword of Judgment. It's Greatsword of Judgment, right? Yeah. Yeah, we picked up some of that. What else did we pick up? When did I pick up the Rebel's Great Shield? In any case, this actually has some really interesting lore bits here, especially when you start connecting its thematics to the other games. Raime and Veldstadt were known as the left and right arms of the king, until their wills clashed, and Raime was deemed a traitor. The Black Raven is despised as an augur of death, but it was Raime's favorite bird. So, as we know, even though, like, just like the Moonlight Greatsword, the Raven is another one of those FromSoft tropes. They love pulling back and forth all the time. Even the mechs in Armored Core are called Ravens, and your base is called the Nest. Whatever. Raime is the left hand, and in medieval times, actually in Latin, like, left is Sinistra. So, like, sinister became left, stuff like that. But the Black Raven was linked to Velka. And it turned into an augur of death rather than of sin, and was Raime's favorite bird. What else did we pick up? Yeah. Huh. Weird. I totally, like, missed it when I was just picking things up. Wonder if this is any good. Yeah, like, Veldstadt was probably a Sunbro, and, like, I'm gonna use it just to show it off, I guess. Focus Souls. Can I even use Focus Souls? No, I'm gonna have to incense that to hell. 60. Jeepers. People complain about Dark Souls 3 sorcery requiring a crap load of investment, but you can use pretty much 98 or 99% of the spells before, like, 40. Yeah. So I wanted to use Focus Souls. Crossbow. Sanctum Crossbow. Which is basically an Avalon. But the Avalon is somewhere else in the game, I think. These Guardian Knights were sentenced to eternal stewardship of the Sanctum in a clandestine ritual carried out in the Great Depths. But today, the Sanctum receives nary a visitor. So, the clandestine ritual that they're talking about is probably what made them phantoms. So, consider what Aldio is doing, and consider what we find in Shulva. You have a bunch of knights who've basically been parted from their bodies. So you have these, like, phantom things that will, like, wreck you until you break their bodies, which provides a sort of power source for that clandestine ritual. So you can imagine Aldia thinking, like, getting the wheel, like, having the wheels turn in his head. If you can separate the soul or the will from the body, can you separate, and then you've got, like, phantoms and crap, right? So you can see where the wheels started turning for Aldia. IMO. Let me make sure I haven't seen anything else. I think they were just very close. They were Veldstadt. Here's the thing about Veldstadt and Raime. They are very, very close. Like, they are uncomfortably close. You ever get, like, that feeling when you hang out with somebody, but you feel like they're uncomfortably close, and so, like, naturally you kind of have to be on the opposite end? Yeah, sort of like sworn brothers in the Yakuza or something. But, like, they're not biological, but they were really too close for them to be comfortable with one another, because they were kind of like a reflection of one another. So they became rivals, because that's the natural thing to do, I guess. Did we picked up the thing, right? Yeah, okay. We got the Dragonstone. Alright, we're done here. And it makes sense that they become, like, dark reflections of one another. Because, like, Veldstadt was so, quote, honorable or blinded by his duty that he basically corrupts anyway, and Raime embraces it, and, well, we find him later. We'll find him later. Oh, here's my question. Do you think Raime hung out with Sir Elana at all, or did he not give a crap about Sir Elana? What I wouldn't give for a quick step like a dagger that gives me quick step. Yeah. Definitely kill Illuminati. It's like, I see it a lot more in fiction. Like, people will meet essentially who is themselves, and being uncomfortable with that reflection of themselves, they naturally kind of despise one another. Because really they kind of despise each other, like themselves. I'll grab that, because I'm right here. Oh, dragon butts, why? Stop it, dragon butt. I swear I'll be good. I won't do it again. I'll be like Adeline in Bloodborne. Leave me alone. So the Dragonstone, which we find in there, protected by a whole lot of people, which I always kind of wait for the end, gives us the big shortcut. Yeah, exactly, Toby. They hate what they see in one another. Let me go right by this. Check out what's happening over here. Which is the Drakeblood Greatsword, which you find in Dark Souls 3 in Archdragon Peak. But it is just lying right here. After sitting in Dark Souls 3's menus for like ever, I don't exactly like how they're laid out here. Oh yeah, the Puzzling Stone Sword, which basically the Ivy Sword from Soul Calibur. Wish it was better. Drakeblood Greatsword. Greatsword wielded by the Drakeblood Knights, led by the Honorable Sir Yord. The insignia chiseled upon its hilt symbolizes the dragon's blood. To the Drakeblood Knights, fresh dragon blood was sacrosanct. They believed that by obtaining it, they could achieve a true understanding of life, transcending their own banal existence. Aslatiel, a sad story. It's happened to me. Sad story. So, yeah, it's super aesthetic. It's super extra. And I wish it was better. But, Yeah. So, Drakeblood Greatsword. They worshipped the dragon blood. But it's more like how Catholics will worship the blood of Christ. Wait, oh. Knock knock. It's more like when I don't know how much, like, you guys are, like, knowledgeable of transubstantiation, but the blood of Christ, when you take it upon yourself, you become a little bit of a part of Christ, and you share part of his essential immortality. Not like literal immortality, but essential immortality. Yeah. You become part of Christ through the act of transubstantiation. And I think that's what's missing from the Drakeblood Greatsword, like, stuff. It's not that they worship the blood. Technically, it's correct. Yes, they worship the blood. But the reason they worship the blood is because they want to drink it so that it transubstantiates themselves. Yeah. Yeah, Puzzling Stone Sword. Let me show it off real quick, because it is a cool sword. And I always forget, because of Bloodborne, you can put it on even though you can't wield it. Block. L2. Just sort of a parry. Block. Twisty twirlies! Look, I'm Ivy from Soul Calibur. This is strong attacks. One-handed is... And then... Backstep R1... Backstep R... Backstep that one... Backstep that one... Yeah. It's cool, but it's actually really useless. Even the threaded cane is more useful than the puzzling stone. Let me stop. So we're back to the first bonfire, but now instead of going that way, we go this way. I'm a little bit of a nerd of, like, I am Catholic, so I had a basis for it, and I'm a bit of a nerd for things like that. Yeah, I think it has, like, S scaling index. It's like I don't have any faith in it, but it is cool to understand. Because I did a lot of cultural anthropology in college, and so seeing some of the lenses people put things in and how is really cool. So this is the midpoint now. I feel like I'm just kind of glazing this over, what I'm doing. And now we're in the actual Dragon Sanctum, now that we've opened up the thing. Like, when I was a kid, like, I'd go straight to the Book of Revelations, because I thought that was the most interesting bit of the Bible, really. Even though it's just, like, some guy's crazy nightmare. Which helped for the Ring City, because, the Book of Revelation and the Talmud version are referenced here and there in the Ring City. It's time for our Mirror's Edge. Our goal is that door all the way down there. But there's a whole lot of Drakeblood Knights that want to say no about that. Like this guy. I kind of think they're harder than in Dark Souls 3. Yeah. So he's got Spirit Tree Shield, which you find in Lothric Castle. DS3. No! It's switch bonfires. But yeah, if you're interested in some of that, like, look up the Wikipedia. Like, the Wikipedia's probably got enough of a introduction for what transubstantiation is, and what's like. Yeah, in DS3 they don't have any poise, so you can just stagger like that because nothing has any poise. Rip poise, or not rip poise. I forget what the set list is in Rock Band 3. This DLC makes me hope that Phantom Whale is super a thing. I am super excited that the Beatles now has a channel on Sirius. I've been listening to it non-stop. The reward for beating this Drakeblood Knight is really cool, but I don't really care too much. If you don't know, the reward is the chance at a whole bunch of oh, nope. What was I saying? Oh, crystal lizards. Yes. Sorry, it took me a while to get there, but I got there. Yeah, so crystals, there's like 4 or so once you open the door. This place again. Help me. They're super aggressive too. But they don't like magic, I guess. Yeah. Sirius is like, yeah, Beatles channel! Super excited for that. I have to give them this. They make that mid-roll work for them. What else is down here? And the Drakeblood set right here. See if there's anything new. Black helm of the Drakeblood Knights, who came from a land long forgotten. The Drakeblood Knights, who worshipped the blood of dragons, were led by Sir Jorg in a siege of the Eternal Sanctum, but sunk into the Sanctum when the slumbering dragon awoke. The red cloth wrapped around their back, black armor, represents the sacred blood of dragons. But the dragons themselves weren't sacred. So, like, they went around killing them and taking their blood. Yeah, nothing new there. And nothing new there. This guy probably looted all this crap and then died. Rip that guy. Cat ring will not save me there. Let's go back up. Remember, whenever there's light source, FromSoft really wants you to know that's a thing. And now we've made it to boss. Should pop that. Yeah, Benhart is... Let me pop a thing so I can show where he is. Benhart is, this is Felicia? Yeah, this is Benhart. Benhart will tank it. And I was thinking about picking him up. For the meat shield. This is Steelheart Ellie. I really like Steelheart. By the way, I forget what she's dressed in. She's got like a mixture of stuff. I think that's like Zuli's. Hey, Ego Border, thanks to the host. I think that's Zuli's veil. And some other things in the cestus. Basically, she's badass. But I think I might summon Benhart. Because he can tank it. Because it would be just my luck that she summons Veldstadt. when I solo this on my like melee characters, it's a lot easier, but I don't think it would be that. Wait, what do I have? Pop on seal protection. Yeah, okay, so there's a couple of things that you gotta know about this coming boss. She will summon minions. Very rarely, it's a bunch of pigs. Revenge of the, the Majula pigs, basically. Very, very rarely. Usually she'll summon Veldstadt. Other than that, she'll summon a bunch of Skelly-mans. No, I don't think she's even taking damage at this point. Oh, maybe. She's got, I don't mind the summons, it's just I don't have the confidence with this build. Like, on my strength Zweihander character, yeah, I might as well just solo. Because it uses a lightning Zweihander. And so I just destroy her. Finhart, can you attack Veldstadt, please? I got you to attack Veldstadt. Well, there goes Benhart. Can we not lock on to that jerk? That jerk. Thank you. Damn it. Alright, I'm out of time. Skelly Man's time. just to drive me crazy with the lock-on system. I'm gonna die. Yep. Yep. Kegare is I might just have to melee her because she's not taking a whole lot of damage from magic. I don't have great magic weapon, do I? No. But I will switch to Soul Greatsword, because if I'm going to go melee, then I'm going to have to do that. Yeah, Kegare is a spiritual impurity. Ah, I thought it was out of that. That's a misread. Come on, pigs! Come on, pigs! Alright, I'm out. There's a reason I'm not going after that last one. I hate that she breaks my lock-on all the time. This hero skeleton, man. Doesn't help that I don't have any life gems. Oh, there's Veldstadt. Yeah, I'm dead. That was just bad luck, really. I should have killed the other two skeletons. When you don't kill all of them, it'll take you get more time before she summons a second time, which is why I kept it alive. I just chose wrong. Soul Greatsword was doing work. I was impressed. Two, three, four. Let me get this one, because he's... Yeah, I'm dead. Eeh. Nothing worked there. Whoops. So let's think about it. This place is built on faith. It's built on poison. It is undone by zealotry from when religions basically collide. But yeah, it's telling that it was faith. I'm just gonna kill him. See, she does her second summon pretty quick. Yeah, so that's what happens. Like, if you don't just keep one of those skeletons alive, she will summon again. And it is always random, but it's usually, like, Veldstadt is kind of at the top of the list. But, I'm gonna get some meat shield and get back to it. Yeah, I wonder if the king in this was even the king at all, because there's no real mention of a king, right? But there's a whole lot of mention of sin. So out of stamina. There's Veldstadt. damn it. Dang it. Heal punishes. Poke, poke, poke. That was pretty good RNG too. Check my rings. Yeah, pretty much what I need to be doing. Yeah, the hard part is, it makes it harder to kill her. Benhart's pretty tanky, but he's not surviving it. I actually used to sit out here as my sunbro. This is how I collected my 30 sunbro medals. I just sat here. Yeah, because they have, when you summon NPCs, they get a buff to defenses and stuff like that. Like, Steelheart is basically just a distraction. She doesn't do any damage. I thought I could iframe that. Really bad RNG here. Cause it's Veldstadt again. Damn it. Hey, Zed. Damn it. I knew it was coming. I should have hit circle. I'm out of time. Yeah, I'm totally out of time here. Yep. That's why I don't really summon NPCs. Yeah, and I'm actually a little bit higher than what normal people are because attunement bumps agility also. But yeah, like NPCs are nice, but like they aren't real people, and so they don't know. They're not smart. That's what I'm saying. NPCs are way better for like Come on, really? Damn it. Yeah. That was bad RNG. If she had gotten the skeletons, I would have been able to get some real damage in. Oh well. Nothing to do but do it again. If she summons in Veldstadt, it just becomes like another one of those consistent excellence boss fights. Like you have to keep them both in your camera, which is hard because she likes teleporting. That sucks. That just sucks. That one was just bad. Nothing much. Demonstrating why NPC summons kind of suck. Yeah, here we go again. that's a miss. Out of time. What the hell was I stuck on? Let me see here. Is there anything I can use? Intelligence, faith, strength. No, because she might be able to cast, summon him again. Like, it's just better to, like, not... to hope that she summons in, Skelemans first. Because it's not worth it, because she'll probably summon in immediately after you kill, and she can summon him again. That's better damage. But it doesn't last very long. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good. What, it's like 300 for each of those hits. See what else I can use. If I can get that DPS, consistently, then I might not have a problem with popping let me tell you, this boss is way easier on my melee characters. Because my strength build just kind of destroys. But, I don't have a whole lot of power behind this character. And she seems really strong against, magic.
There's Veldstadt.
Yeah, like, Benhart should be getting out of that AoE. Yeah, like, if they're still alive, she won't summon Veldstadt. Like, I just avoided the Skelemans. Yeah. I got caught in a bad place. Knaves. Seriously. All of these knaves. I'm gonna tackle this a couple more times and we'll start the second DLC. Get some power. hell was... I was, movement canceled. Yeah, her intro dialogue seems really neat. You were not deserving of the mire. Does she think that we're another one of those Drakeblood Knights? That seems the simplest answer. Well, we are gonna kill Sin, but, Grave Lord Nito! I just kill like 2 of them because she summons 3 when you're solo, 4 when you're not. That is very similar to what the demon princes are casting. The demon princes cast something very similar. Yes, you can spell parry in DS2. Spell parry came in with DS2. Just getting damage on her. No, it cannot. This build can't really carry very much. I'm gonna try one more time, and then we're gonna start the second DLC anyway. Probably bleeds poison. It's out of stamina. That was just bad. Hey Dave, how's it going? Nice to see you. I'm failing pretty hard because this build does not do well against mob bosses. Okay, one more time, and then we will head back and start Room Tower. Like, this DLC is essentially done, because right after Elana is the last boss. One. Damn it. Alright, last one, just steal life a little bit. Hey D-Jess, thanks for the follow. Ah, freaking hell. Yeah, who does sell great magic weapon? Because I really need to pick it up. It might be Straid. I'm gonna have to pay a visit. She got me. I'm gonna have to pay a visit to Straid, I think. His magic weapon is not doing it. Okay, Navlan. Chest in Black Gulch, which I totally missed, and I have access to Navlan like right now, so see what Straid does have anyway. I already have all this. Is that new? Aha! Executioner's Chariot's the crossbow. Crossbow created from the soul of the Executioner's Chariot. Iron plate serves as a shield while firing. The merciless chariot inflicted agony upon others with utter impunity, and the crossbow, created from its soul, strives to protect from possible retribution. Alright, well I guess we'll start Navlan's Chest in Black Gulch. Huh. You know, I don't really remember it being down here. Hey, JLS Arfresh. Thanks for the follow. Nice to see you. I'm trying to think of where it might actually be, so I can plan out a route. I'm not actually sure it's here. Huh. Like, the wikis are confused because Vanilla and Scholar change locations of where things are. Go talk to Navlan, and we'll be back to the DLC. It is past the Falconers. I also need to put on my ring. My hair! I have no hair. Bamboo Pandas, thanks for the follow. Put on magic weapon. See you, Zad. Congrats on the house again. Wait. No? Yes? Oh, this isn't the way to Aldia's Keep. This is the way to Grandma's house. Yeah. With the doggos. Jerk. This is the RTSR. For those who know, is the RTSR actually good in DS2? I know it's terrible in DS3. And since it is of interest to me in this playthrough, with regards to Kaitha, let's take a look at it real quick. It looks so different in this game. A ring set with a rare tearstone. Reacts when the wearer is in danger. Temporarily increases its wearer's attack power. Kaitha, goddess of tears, mourns the undeserving dead, shedding tears as red as blood. It is said that the stone set in this ring is one such tear. Who was it attributed to in DS1? Because Kaitha is a DS2 deity. Holy crap! Did you guys see how much damage that did to the Cyanite? Also, apparently there's a Shadow Hollow right here that I just wrecked. I didn't even know there was a Shadow Hollow. Jeez. Welcome to Aldia's Keep, which is pretty lore-centric in and of itself. Let's take a look at the place. It's like stained glass, and there's that. Like Harvest Valley, you don't actually see the Dragon Eyrie. Like, the Dragon Eyrie seems to be a completely different world from over here. Because you can assume the elevator up to the Dragon Eyrie is in there, but kind of looks like it, doesn't it? Actually, let's go pop the bonfire before we go messing around with things first. Lucatiel, sorry I didn't do your quest. You have a 5th chance if you go to Aleum Lois and use her for one of the bosses in there. But if you speak to her here, you kill the quest and you fail it if you didn't do it. So, on the subject of identity, I saw Renegade Cut released today a video on... Yeah, she's summonable for the Ivory King. I thought she was summonable for Ava too, but I could be wrong for that. So these doggos are almost literally the worst. Almost literally, because the dogs in DS3 are a bit worse. Actually, no. Dogs in Demon Souls are the worst. Poison throwing knives. Crescent Axe. The Crescent Axe was a... Yeah, I know Ellie was there. Yeah, Glencore sounds right. Crescent Axe has a storied history, actually. It was, sold by Patches in DS1. But it was, what's his face? The Way of White Knight, that hollows out with, Rhea. One senses that this axe was once imbued with a sacred power, but only traces of it remain. Perhaps those who blessed this axe are no longer with us. So it was kind of a Way of White thing. It was actually pretty good in DS1, but by the time DS3 rolls around, it's not very good. I think it used to be imbued blessed or something, just naturally. This guy is a mimic. It thinks it's cute, but online kind of spoils the thing. If you watch really closely, you can see it breathe. Yeah. So we got the Dark Mask and a Malformed Skull. Let's take a look at that. It seems telling that in DS2, most of the Dark Wraith stuff and most of the things that are super seriously dark are sitting in the bellies of mimics. Malformed Skull is over here. The skull of some unidentified creature. Swing as a great hammer to use as a weapon. Possibly the skull of a dragon. A rare specimen. Likely too rare to be swung about willy-nilly. I love that the Frog Nation uses the term willy-nilly. In all due seriousness. It looks like so. Kind of looks more like a possum than a dragon. Or at least a worm. Needs 35 strength. It has no auxiliaries. I actually expected an auxiliary on this thing. Yeah. It definitely doesn't look like a dragon the way the way Ring City is, but that could also be a fault with the graphic engine that they're using for DS2. We also got the Dark Mask, so let's read that real quick. Mask of a Night Subsumed, which means just kind of drowned by dark. No one knows the true identity of these men who are said to freely manipulate dark. Old foreign legends describe them as poor souls who chased the lost art of life drain. Yeah. So, like, Lorethrough might actually be a foreign land, but we know that they had the art of life drain. See ya, Delcia. Nice to see ya. Chased the art of life drain. Like, that insinuates that they didn't have the art of life drain, and that they were looking for it, but we know from DS1 that they totally had it. But what's the biggest bit of telling is that it calls them foreign. Oh, right. There was the thought that I had, like, totally trailed off on. Renegade Cut on YouTube, he released a video talking about Dark City. And Dark City has very little to do with Dark Souls, other than the fact that it talks about memory being, and the philosophy of memory, and what makes a person via their memories, and what, like, for instance, in Dark City, there's a apartment dude, the apartment landlord guy, and he's one guy when they first go see him. But the strangers change things around for their memory experiments, and when the detective comes back to talk to the landlord, he's a completely different guy. But since the memories are the same, is that guy the same guy? Is that guy not the same guy? There's a lot of similar questions being asked with the Hollows of Dark Souls 2. With Lucatiel, she's trying very hard to keep her memories, but her memories are fading. Is she the same person at the end of the day when those memories are gone? Or is she completely different? And then there's the question of personal responsibility. If you aren't that same person when your memories are completely changed or completely different, are you still responsible in some way? And the whole Lucatiel quest kind of reminds me of memory philosophy and body theory and personal identity. And those are the same sort of things that are talked about in the film Dark City. I had the wrong spell. Yeah, I know. Thanks, Aslatiel. We know from lore stuff that Mirrah didn't really care about magic too much, so he's pretty weak to it. See, Lucatiel, all you needed was a bit of magic. You would have just smacked him one. So that's a really, that video only came out like today or yesterday, and if you like Dark City or you want to hear about how another piece of, like a movie tackles some of the same questions that the quests of Dark Souls 2, especially Lucatiel, do, then definitely check it out. It's well worth your time. So, big change for Scholar with this thing. You have to light these sconces, and every time you light these sconces, a Forlorn appears, and you have to kill the Forlorn. After you get all of these sconces, you get, like, the key, and then this thing moves. It doesn't move immediately. No, it does, but only when you complete the mini quest. You have to, like, light the sconces, fight all the Forlorn, get the thing, and then when you have the key, then it flies at you. But only then. It's a pain in the butt. And it doesn't really give you very much of anything, so... Unless you really want to fight Forlorn. Let's meet one of our last NPCs in the game. Navlan. We've heard about him before in lore stuff. Apparently, he got his butt killed because he figured out resurrection. And, his village didn't like that. I think I like Blake Ritson more as Navlan than as Hawkwood. Now pay attention to that, because Navlan doesn't have a reason to lie to you. Or Jekyll. No, not Jekyll. It's Hyde. Hyde Navlan doesn't have a reason. Yeah, it's the same voice actor. Now, Hyde Navlan has no reason to lie to you. The spells that you can pick up, especially from the Pardoner, state that the village killed this guy and made his name anathema because of resurrection. Jekyll Navlan wanted to create new forms of magic into this world. And he did. He created resurrection. But when he succeeded, he brought something back from the edge with him. And that is what I call Hyde Navlan. When you're hollow, you can talk to Hyde Navlan. And again, it's another rumination about identity, personal identity, and some other stuff. Like, because it's fresh in my head, I'm just going to make that connection. In Dark City, the main character, John Murdoch, is the center of an experiment about serial killers, but he wakes up in the middle of it, so the memories didn't take. And he has this natural abhorrence towards murder. Like, there's a spark in him that's like isn't a murderer, like naturally isn't a murderer. Hyde Navland states that it is natural for him to want to murder. So what does that say? Well, what does this game say about what personal identity is? Is he a natural born killer, or does he just choose to because he wants to? And is he hiding behind that? Like a serial killer, he wants a little trophy. Yeah. You can lie to him. You can just get the trophy and come back. These are all developer messages, if you can't tell. This reminds me of a certain hallway in Demon Souls. In Demon Souls, in the Nexus, there's a little hallway that leads to nowhere, but it's covered in developer messages. It's just like your instruction manual. If you pull that lever, you release Navland, and then Navland will start invading you, and he's a jerk. And by Navland, I mean Hyde Navland. He's a super jerk. Gives me conniptions. Actually, it is easier if I just go back to the front bonfire. If you want to see what he looks like, because he does bad guys really well. Blake Ritson was in the show Da Vinci's Demons. And he was Count Riario. The bastard child of the Pope, I think, in that show. So yeah, you can kill Gilligan and take the ladder, or you can just, you know, buy it. And I think that says something too, lore-wise, about, like, because Navland presents to you that some people are just naturally born as killers, and that is good. It asks you subtly, is that an essential part of your personhood? Do you choose to just kill souls? Essential part of your personhood, but there you go. I like Navland. Navland might be one of my favorite NPCs. Yeah, it's just easier to buy the stuff, I agree. But I think it's trying to ask you that question, too. Alright, let me go talk to Navland before... When you complete his little bunch of quests, which you can't really do until after you kill Throne Watcher and Throne Defender, if you choose to just buy everything, he will open up as a... Yeah. Because Kale won't give it to you until all of the fires are lit on the map. So let's move on. So, this is that stuff about... I want to say this is a mimic? No. Well, there's Great Magic Barrier. And here's some of the stuff we've been talking about with regards to Aldia and mirrors and the multiverse. That was not the button I wanted to hit. Wow, that hurt a lot. Yeah, that hurt. So, yeah, mirrors are being used as a sort of localized portal into like the multi-dimensions, multi-world stuff that goes on in Dark Souls. If you note, they have the same kind of color aura as like a blue sentinel or something. Dark Moon Blades don't exist in this one. This guy looked like he almost made it. Almost. And these are the same mirrors that Mirror Knight had. You can see they're basically a Mirror Knight shield. Northern Ritual Band. Jeez. $709. Jeepers. And some bright bugs, which I used only once in my first playthrough, and that was against Dark Lurker. And I think that's a waste of a... Like, you kill this guy, he gives you something, but I'm not sure if it's worth doing. Considering you can just go do this. Only one other, I think, of these appears, and that's Shaded Woods, I think New Game Plus. I think they're genetically altered by Aldia. Very important to check for mimics in Aldia's Keep, because I think he was also creating mimics, so mimics of mimics. I'm not sorry about that pun. Nope. This turns on the lights. Like everyone says about Silent Hill, who makes these places? Like, can you imagine Aldia just like stumbling around, half awake, hasn't had his coffee yet, and he's like, where did I put my Pharaoh's Lockstone? I need to turn on the lights. There's a mimic. These guys have high magic resistance. There's a replacement Pharaoh's Lockstone for your trouble. Where? Oh, it's over here, I think. Okay. bonfire. This bonfire kind of makes sense for it to be behind an illusory wall. If Aldea knew the nature of the bonfire. Yeah, his experimental bonfire. It's like the Spencer Mansion in here. There's a reason I'm unequipping everything. For those who don't know, this will break your crap. Some divine blessings. A goat, which would probably be a demon. An actual demon, but it's dead. Soul Geyser, which is probably the actual reward. A secret art unleashes a gush of souls. The homing soul mass pierces its target, then hits repeatedly for additional damage. This blasphemous spell is a family heirloom of Lord Aldea's. It was designed to pummel foes until its power is entirely exhausted. So, Vendrick, who is described as the pragmatic one, who isn't the guy you go to for, like, spells and stuff. He comes from a family of sorcerers, and Aldea picked up all the sorcerer stuff. Somewhat similar to Lothric and Lorien. Like, they are very similar to Lothric and Lorien in a lot of ways. One is the magic dude, one is the fighty dude. Wait, the hell? Right, my catalyst. Catalyst, where'd you go? There it is. It's up here. And King's Ring I don't need, so yeah. Lorien and Vendrick, by the time you find them, are both kind of hollowed. Like, I have to wonder if Lothric is just kind of puppeting his brother around in some macabre display, and like his brother is like already completely dead. I don't need that right now. Might be able to use that. Let's refresh the spells. And this bonfire says ritual site, so they did do something. I like Lothric, actually. I think a lot of people hate Lothric because they think he's like whiny. I got the sense that people thought he was whiny. This is the locked one, right? Yeah. You get that key once you kill all the Forlorn. Let's go do a stupid thing. Blessed be the iframes. I like Lothric, though. I think Lothric is a lot more pragmatic than people think he is. Malformed Shell, which should be the other half of the dragon armor weapons things. It's a shield, right? One of the malformed weapons developed in Aldea, swung like a great hammer, appears to be a fragment of a giant shell, but its precise origins are unknown. The peculiar figure known as Lord Aldea attempted to uncover the secrets of life itself, and viewed the undead as a key to this mystery. And indeed they are, caught between life and death, neither living or alive. Caught by cycles and able to phantom themselves out. Ah, dang it. Yeah. You better get a napkin. Troll dude. Yeah, Lock-on switched to the Basilisk, and I didn't like it. take a look at this tableau. So, this is a very miniature version of what you can get off of the Rotten Soul. It's also the Butcher's Knife from Dark Souls 1. This looks to be a bit like a chaos bug, maybe? Or just some skeleton. These are all dead giants. Very, very dead giants. Caught and experimented on, and their blood used for whatever purpose that they had. How did I miss that? Annoying. Well, I think the giant has to decide to turn into a tree, but like at the end of the war, Aldia took a lot of prisoners and then he used them in his experiments. Very macabre, very ethically not, like, basically ethically evil. But obsessions, in the words of Marquis de Sade, tyrannicize. The paintings are neat, though. Like, Aldia is like my favorite NPC because of his interesting, but he's not a guy I like. Personally, oh boy. Oh god. That was rude. I was expecting it too. I'm so pissed. Dark Souls 2! Actually, I might as well Ember humanity up. There is a boss right after that. I'm gonna give that boss a try. Come on, Basilisk. What's wrong with your tail, dude? What is that sound every time? Come on. Things that are weak to magic will die very quickly. Elana is not weak to magic. Also, piercing damage. Piercing is very, very strong in Dark Souls 2, which is why I picked it as my offhand weapon. Or my melee weapon. Like, if you think about this tableau, it doesn't make sense that this would be here after seeing the front of Uldia, or the region of Uldia. No, I just wanted to beat that boss because I had bad luck and I felt like it was easy and I should have been able to get it that first time, but second time. I'm gonna hit the next bonfire and then close up. But yeah, it's like, I love this vista, but if you think about it, it doesn't make sense. Like, this is supposed to be all of the region of Uldia, or the state of Uldia within the kingdom of Drain Lake, or the fiefdom of Uldia. And I'm like, How does this make sense? Because you can't really see it from the front of Uldia. And we get a dragon scale, which I think is our first one. So let's take a look at that real quick. Yeah, it's over here. A scale from the body of an ancient dragon. Offer to the dragon to bring your own flesh closer to that of the eternal ancient dragon. Touching an ancient dragon's scale gives one a glimpse into the abyss. Believers in the dragon will rise above this petty corporeal existence. Uldia kind of insinuates this too, that the body isn't who you are, technically. Like, you are more than just your body. Or your body is part of the lie, anyway. Tanamura is still banned from using elevators in his next game. Just saying. Stop it with this BioWare loading, dynamic loading business. Welcome to Dragon Eyrie. In Dark Souls 2 Scholar, it's essentially cut content. It's still here because of this. This is a different voice. Yeah. There's nothing really to say because I think it's kind of cut content. But she is, as you might know already, she's created by Uldia Shanalot, using some of what he knows about the undead, believing that the undead are the key to life, so he created life a couple of times. And Shanalot might be his greatest achievement, but in doing so well, she wants to declare her own freedom in a way. She wants to declare her own identity because of her sapience and stuff. And the reason this is essentially cut content is before you had to go through the entire level to come above and knock this ladder down. Elias, the speedrunner Elias, he like figured out a way to jump across and like get to this ladder. And yeah. The other thing is, the longer you spend in the Dragon Eyrie, and like if you hit a couple of eggs, something might happen. And that something is a dragon comes and knocks off the bridge that you're running on. But since this is essentially cut content, you can just kind of do this. Grab this. Piece the hell out. Welp. See ya then. Mini Aldia! Hey, Antoine. The cutest of the Aldias. So mini! So cute! Not the first time he talks about love disparagingly. Like I said, I think he was jealous of Vendrick and Ashandra. Attempted to create love in Tark and Najka, and then became completely skeptical or pessimistic about it, because as soon as the undead curse, it's very hard to have love when the undead curse makes you a raisin. Sure. And what is the answer? It's an answer only you can give at the end of each cycle. While I do some level ups, is there any like final thoughts, final questions, things you wanted to talk about that we didn't have time to yet? Two, okay. Only 30 points. It sucks. Hard to say if he did or not. Like, Zuli does what Zuli wants. I think Zuli's interesting in that she never shows up, but even in Dark Souls 3, she's just, you know, an adjudicator giant slave at the end. But like, I don't think she's a daughter because I don't think anybody's like directly linked to any of the games. Thematics, they are linked, but I don't think they're like, it's because like I said yesterday, like the cycle is very, it's like this circle right here, and like Dark Souls 1 is right here, Dark Souls 2 is all the way over here, and Dark Souls 3 is like back over here somewhere. But they're not directly related, and no one is. But Zuli is very much in the same vein as Witch Beatrice in Dark Souls 1. And Carla is in that same vein as Beatrice and Zuli. Except Beatrice had a purpose, really. And Zuli, she found has Ava's armor shown up to Moglin yet? It's been 3 hours. We've already killed, like, a boss. We've done most of a DLC. 3 hours is my limit. Because I have to timestamp things, so... Don't know if you came early or late. No. See you, Toby. Alright, so that's it for me tonight. Got some extra power, I guess. For those who want to know, I am at 1.2 million soul memory. I am almost to my goal of 50 intelligence. Yeah. Lots of fun. I'll see you guys later. Praise the sun. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys.